Ugh, what a grifter shill piece of shit. Wait, Waking Jake, yeah, that is you can see me on Twitter there at Waking Jake too. But I did want to say something about Ben Dixon. You had a conversation with somebody about Ben Dixon and Bree, and well, if you just take a look at what Bree is doing right now, as she defends this defenseless, she was a corporate lawyer on 3rd Avenue in New York City for 4 years after going to Harvard for 4 years and then Harvard for another 3 years in Harvard Law. This is a girl who I don't know that you want to just go out and trust her necessarily. Corporate lawyer, litigator. She's got some serious tricks up her sleeve, and she's doing it right now. Exactly what Ben was saying. She's doing it even worse all the time. She is his handler.
Absolutely.
She handles this guy,
and
no matter what he does.
I just want to say, try 3 in the chat. When you mentioned that, when Ben said that, I was a little, I was skeptical because at that point, Bree was not on my list yet. I was, I had clouded vision because of the Bernie campaign, and that's what she's preying on.
He's had years of experience with her.
That's what she's preying on, though, is that people have the clouded judgment of her from the Bernie campaign.
Oh, yeah.
I fell for that the first couple of weeks of this bullshit.
Yeah, if you had seen her doing corporate law for 4 years and in Harvard for another 7 years, you probably would have had a clouded vision there too, right? That would have clouded your vision. Good.
But so I just and again, Ben has they've known each other for a while, right?
Yes,
so it's like
they
he already knew all this stuff. He was
brought
wise
this
to
up with her for years. Yeah, for years.
That's why I can't really criticize him. But yeah, so we have this podcast here from the Gray Zone, which has been on my radar, but I haven't covered them that much yet.
Okay, the Gray Zone's a problem.
The Gray Zone seems to be one of these platforms that all of these people are communicating on. Yes, like one of the People's Party, it's like one of those platforms that people group up, and then that's the platform. It's the Gray Zone. And isn't Dan Cohen a part of this?
Yes, he's the one who did the hit
covered that
piece.
Video, that bizarre video, and then he's like, did you hear Anna Kasparian said that China was rude to protesters? She's anti-China.
All those same
She's an imperialist shill.
Same things they mentioned on this podcast, all those same things.
So we're not going to watch this full hour. So you have a timestamp for me of what you find very problematic that you want to cover?
I did find that there were quite a few problematic areas, but we don't have to watch the full hour. But
real quick, I should just stream myself watching these podcasts in real time, when I did with the People's Party one, even if they're old. Yeah. Because
it was great. It was great.
Should I do that? Just because live debunking of everything?
Absolutely, but also I don't know that you need to either. You don't need to pause it, or you can pause it and just let it play afterwards. You don't have to go fast because who cares if it's on time?
Yeah, that's true.
It could be a little slow.
Yeah,
nobody's trying to communicate from the show.
Whenever I do clips, people are, "Oh, you're taking them out of context. You took them out of context." That's one of the reasons why I covered the full People's Party thing, because I didn't want people to come to me and say, you took me out of... And then they did anyway. When I did the clips later, they're like, you took it out of context. And it's like, I literally streamed the full thing. So it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, if you think it's out of context, prove it, because it's all there. Mm-hmm. Bring your receipts.
Okay, so
I just want to say about the Gray Zone and all these people, everybody should realize that what we're finding is there's a distinction here, that the lines have been drawn before, where it's basically all the people who wanted to be anti-Russiagate, like hardcore anti-Russiagate, and are the same people who wouldn't say vote for Biden. So we're willing to accept another 4 years of Trump, in other words. Those are all the same people that are totally on board with Jimmy and the People's Party and all of this. So it's very interesting how it all works together, and we're doing a lot of investigations, me and the people that I know, really deep investigations about where the money is coming from and how it's all working together. It's actually turning out to be quite scary, which is not surprising because we are dealing with basically what amounts to a second Trump here. I mean, it's basically like Plan B. This has been set up.
And I want to try to, and I got to find a way to get this down into less words, but I want to try to give people that are watching this a primer a little bit of when we call Jimmy Trump, that's not saying that they agree on everything. And I've been comparing Jimmy to Trump over the last couple of weeks. I made these comparisons organically, and I think that's how you actually came across my stuff. And then I keep getting people, but Jimmy supports Medicare for all, and Trump does. Like, that's not the point.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what they support.
The social aspect of it.
It's psychological.
And I think
psychological trickery.
In the full episode of this podcast, because I do clip these things out. So if you're watching the clip, go watch the full. But in the full episode, I tried to, and I spent like 30 minutes on it. And I got to find a way to, get it into less words, but I tried to my best to draw the line of Donald Trump going down the escalator to stop the steal. And I'm trying to draw a line from Jimmy Dore saying that Trump isn't that bad. There's no way that Trump could get 3 Supreme Court justices 4 years ago on Sam Cedars show. Trying to draw a line from that to this. And there is the palpable line. You can look at all the individual stops. And so in that attempt to draw that line, I have, and you've been sending me some stuff, and other people have been sending me a lot of stuff, and the gray zone keeps popping up. It's about pattern recognition, right?
You know what you need to do, though? You know what you need to do?
Yep.
We'll study together. Masha Gessen has the book about fascism, and she's got a list, I think it's maybe 10 things that you need to look for when you're studying somebody who's moving into a fascistic regime. And one of them will certainly be the enemy of the people is the press. And you're going to see it right in this video that he literally says that the American press is worse than Alex Jones.
All right, give me the link. What's the timestamp?
You have the link, but the time... Well, okay, so he starts with some disgusting jokes about his wife and having sex with her. It's disgusting, so we don't need to see that. Start at 5.
5:30.
5:30. Yeah, it's hard to get, I don't know.
I'll do 5:31 because that's my birthday.
Yeah, it's fine. Oh, good. Oh, real? Oh, okay, cool.
All right. Birthday. I'm going to put this at like 1.25, just to cut it down a little bit, right? Just a little. I
don't know if you need to do that.
I don't need to, but I want to, just for my own mental health.
All right. Sometimes I feel like it's bad for your mental health to listen to them so goddamn fast. They sound like lunatics more than they already are.
I think it paints it a little bit better. Okay, so you want me to just click play?
Yeah.
Right. On the CARES Act, when I was upset about Bernie Sanders, people are going to be a couple of months behind at being upset at AOC because they haven't done
pause.
Fucking
Press
thing.
pause.
Pause it.
Sorry. All right. Right there. We're already dealing with a fucking narcissist. Do you understand? That's a narcissist because he thinks he's ahead of everybody else.
I was ahead of it. Even though I came up with this in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
I was somehow ahead of everything. I'm and I do this in the Trump voice because I want you to understand it's the same shit. Yeah, imagine Trump saying that.
It is.
Literally.
It is.
Imagine Trump fucking saying that.
It's absolute confidence in yourself, even though you're a total fucking idiot.
I came up with this in 2 weeks.
I don't want to say
also, 5 months ago.
I shouldn't say it. Okay, go on.
Antifa, who is this fellow again? This is WakingJake of Twitter fame. All right, let's play.
They've said they were going to do when they ran. She ran literally on Medicare for all, saying we don't have to wait 100 years. We can have this now. It only takes courage, and we have to agitate.
Pausing. Okay. Reminder, this dumb motherfucker, and I want to emphasize motherfucker in this statement because people seem to think I'm the tone police. This guy is not a dumb guy. This guy is a dumb motherfucker is what he is. So this dumb motherfucker, right, is going out there saying AOC campaigned on Medicare for all, and now she's not doing it, right? Whereas he supported Tulsi Gabbard, who also campaigned on Medicare for all, and then reverted her position to single payer plus, which kept a lot of private insurance companies. And then Jimmy had her on his show and gave her a softball interview. Her a softball motherfucking interview and said, oh, it's a decent compromise. It's all right. But AOC campaigning on healthcare, she's a liar. She's a sellout. She's corporate shill.
You know what I just realized that nobody talks about? These stupid idiots are all like, now's the time. We're in a pandemic. People are dying. We really need Medicare for all right now. Number one, we all know that's not going to happen anyway. Okay? But number two, this is actually maybe the worst time to make some kind of huge statement about Medicare for all when we have so many problems we have to deal with right now. This is actually taking away from really important things we need to do right now. It sounds like a good thing, like, yeah, Medicare for all makes a lot of sense. We're going to have a pandemic, but actually, maybe it's actually the worst time to do something like this.
Now, I want to say this, and I want to say this this is a very important thing. If Jimmy Dore were to have organized with NNU and DSA and said, my role in this movement is to fight for Medicare for all, and I would like you to force a vote, but if you don't, I'm going to continue fighting for Medicare for all so that other
Oh my God, he'd be a hero. He would be a hero.
He literally, and I would love him, and I would be the first one out there and say, yeah, Jimmy made transphobic jokes, but it's okay. That would be me.
If that came along with him not threatening the squad.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's what I'm saying. If he were an actual organizer, but he's not.
And a human being, right? He's a human being.
If he actually gave a fucking fuck about Medicare for all, he would have supported Bernie when we had the most historically important opportunity to get Medicare for all.
100%.
But he didn't. The guy's a fucking grifter, dude. He's a fucking loser.
Much worse. Right, much worse, as we'll see. Okay.
Because we have to cause a ruckus and we have to make them uncomfortable.
Okay. Here's another example.
Yes, you need to make the neoliberals and conservatives uncomfortable. They're laughing at this. They're saying AOC is getting attacked from the left. LMAO, that's hilarious. They're not reading into it. They're not looking into it. They don't know who Jimmy Dore is. All they know is AOC is getting attacked by crazy leftists, and they're loving it.
Let's mark all the times, as we discussed, where he uses special people, famous people, people with clout, and their words to kind of fake you out into thinking he's actually doing what they say, but he's actually doing something very different. But because they said it and he says he's doing it, then it sounds really good. Just an example. She said, make people uncomfortable. What was some other word that ruckus, make a ruckus. So he's saying that's what I'm doing. No, what you're doing is threatening people and making people feel awful and shaming people and making our the only people that we have on our side look really bad. That's what you're doing.
Literally. Yeah. Nothing to add. All right.
See in the squad uncomfortable, and everyone's coming at me that somehow that's misogynist because I'm yelling in my garage at politicians to pass Medicare for all. And I need to tell people, webcam doesn't have feelings.
All right, stop. Stop. We've heard this before. It's in the video, right? Webcam doesn't have feelings. So this means that when Donald Trump puts the word out to the Proud Boys to stand by, he could have said, I'm talking to a camera in the audience.
Even better. When Donald Trump ordered an assassination on Michael Ryanel, the guy who shot and killed a Trump protester.
He was on a telephone. He was talking into a telephone.
Oh, yeah, I didn't order the assassination. I was just saying he should die. I'm the president, and I was on the phone with these people, and I just said he should die. I didn't tell him to do it. It was a retweet. It was an opinion of somebody.
This is literally all you should need to fucking hear about this guy. And he is refusing to take responsibility for talking into a camera, which is transmitting his language to millions of people.
Literally, it's the same fucking thing that Trump is doing, right? And again, is it? Let me analyze the context here, the actual the juice here. Is it misogynist to go after a politician? Yes. It could be. It depends how you go after them. If you say Nancy Pelosi is terrible because she's a woman, that's misogynist. If you say Nancy Pelosi is terrible because she doesn't support Medicare for all, that's an actual poignant analysis. There are different things. This guy is saying AOC is a sellout. He's going to come for her and he's never going to stop. Now,
just
again,
the way he focuses on her alone and focuses
doesn't even mention Trump.
As an older man, that already starts to become misogynistic, right?
I don't even think this guy is. I've examined a lot of Jimmy Dore clips and I've watched, I don't think they mentioned Trump a single time during the Force the Vote town hall. They mentioned AOC 15 trillion times. They didn't mention Nancy
haven't
Pelosi
you seen his
4
clips?
times.
His clips he hardly ever talks about Trump. The only time he talked about Trump in the last month is when he believed that Trump watched his show and actually was pulling troops because of him.
Yeah, of course. It's Jimmy's show. Jimmy's show that did it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm going to keep going.
I'm yelling into a webcam in my garage. I'm not at AOC's office in her face or at her house. I'm in my garage.
Thank God you're not. Thank God.
I mean, he's sending people there. Like I have someone who followed me who was like, he sent me videos of him at AOC's office asking.
What do they call that word? Stochastic terrorism, right? Stochastic is the word when you inspire terrorism from afar. I
dropped out of high school. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Do you have another timestamp, or do you want to keep going with this one?
No, keep going.
Okay.
Webcams do not have feelings. And this is all about tone policing in the middle of a fucking pandemic where the government is failing.
It's not about tone policing. Again,
this is again the line.
Dumb shit fuck for brains, dumb motherfucker.
It's the words tone policing. You're using. If you were saying the same, if you were saying in the same way, like, you stupid, if you were saying it like, balloons are so amazing, balloons go in the sky, and they make them fly, and they're great, then I would say that's tone policing, because you're saying nice things. But if you're saying bad tone with bad language, with bad violence, then, it's a different story than
But it's
you're
all
doing
a deflection. And again, I want to talk about the free speech aspect of this, because this is kind of a cross-section that I see. It's like, these people, they're free speech. I can do whatever I want. I can say, I'm talking to a webcam. All right, if that's the case, then how come I'm getting so many people coming at me saying that when I attack Jimmy and calling him a dumb motherfucker, that like I'm being rude and I'm missing the point? It's about Medicare for all.
We're smearing him.
I'm literally being toned policed by the people who claim I'm the toned police. It's ridiculous. It's fucking dumb.
But
it's not about free speech. It's not about free speech. And they don't listen to anyone else, right? They're not going to listen to my argument. They're going to look at the fucking video title and fucking react like literal Russian bots to it, because they're fucking dumb. They're
being
dumb
hypocrites
motherfuckers.
Is part of the being hypocrites is part of the game. That's part of the fascism.
Of course, yeah. Whatever is convenient in the moment. That's all that matters.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm going to continue.
On purpose. Will they not give you a stimulus? They won't give you healthcare in the middle of a deadly pandemic.
Also, it's on the screen, but this is from December 21st. So this is a couple weeks ago, and this kind of shows, like, again, he said a lot of the similar stuff. This shows kind of like a little bit of the tracking of where this stuff came from,
On purpose.
Yeah. He's a comedian, so he uses the same material over and over.
Exactly. He's used
to
it.
8:30. Go to 8:30. This is. It's
actually 11 right now. There's my joke. That's a joke. I'm just a jagoff comedian. All right.
Now on the floor. This
is the key. This is it. This is do this slow. Do this on slow. This is the meat. This is the thing I want to go out with. This is the scariest thing I've heard. This is the thing where if these guys are real journalists, first of all, does this at all feel like journalism to you, or does it feel like this guy's coming to their house and chilling out?
This is like a YouTube podcast. Again, I have only been on the political sphere on YouTube for a year. Now, I've been following politics for more than that, but I've only been in political YouTube for a year, right? I've been in gaming communities. I've been in other, sorts of communities. This is not a journalistic outlet. This is a literal, like if I'm going to watch a podcast on Minecraft, it would look almost exactly like this. It's what it is.
These guys, this is Gray Zone. This is Max Blumenthal. These are supposed to be real journalists. These are the guys who made the movie about Gaza. This is serious stuff.
These are supposed to be serious people. Yeah, and that's why I'm so at them. Like, again, if these were just fucking douchebag comedians like they claim to be, I'm just a pothead comedian. By the way, I smoke weed on stream every single day. And how come I don't get people defending me as a pothead comedian? Isn't that interesting, huh? Isn't that interesting? But
no, they'll come down on you for it.
Of course, yeah, no. But this guy,
come to your house.
He's going on this fucking journalistic outlet to talk about hashtag forced of what does this have to do with but again, it's all a media grift. These people are in it for the clicks. All right, and we're at 8:28.
Okay, so now he was just talking about how he's not violent and talking into a camera is not violent and he's not misogynistic. So they should fine. They could have walked that stuff back too, right? They could have said, wait, Jimmy, I mean, talking to a camera, I mean, that's actually communicating with lots and lots of people. That could be very dangerous.
I want to say this, too. One of the problems with these media networks is that when you're interviewing your friend and your friend is going to say something batshit, you are less likely to push back on them because they're your friend. And that's what the whole manufacturing consent theory is literally based on. Now, By the way, what did Brianna do with the writer of manufacturing consent? She fucking put him on a smear campaign saying Noam Chomsky's a liberal sellout for voting for Joe Biden. That's what she did, right?
Unbelievable.
Which, again, I thought that was ridiculous. You can disagree on voting, and I have a lot of friends who voted green. Most of them aren't in swing states, so I don't care. Like, who cares, right? But when you're advocating to vote for green in a swing state, I mean, at that point, you have to understand you're advocating for something that has actual tangible results that can be destructive, right? So, actually, thank you for the reminder. I'm going to dislike this video. I just disliked it live on stream. So, okay, this guy is trying to say he's not violent. He's just talking to a webcam, right? But
wait till you hear this. Comedian. I want to make this line. I want to make this fucking line famous. Okay, this is how we're going to take him down. Watch this.
All right.
And them for being total frauds.
Yeah, and again, if they want to apologize, we're open to it. Skeptically, of course. You got to be skeptical. But if Brianna wants to go on a rehabilitation tour, fine. If Gray Zone wants to go on a rehabilitation tour, fine. Give them the space to do that, right? But let's be honest, they're not going to do that, right? And let's also be honest, if they do, we got to keep our eyes on them. All right, let's watch.
If the Senate votes against Medicare for all in the middle of a pandemic when 15 million people
they just voted against 2K checks, but
yeah, right, like shocker.
I keep forgetting that this is a long video. Okay.
The Senate votes against Medicare for all in the middle of a pandemic when 15 million people just lost their health care, on top of the 30 million who already didn't have and the 80 million who are underinsured. When they do that in the middle of a pandemic, as 19 million people are getting kicked out of their
I mean, they basically just did do that, but instead of with Medicare for all, a more important policy for this moment, a $2,000 cash payment. They literally did what this guy
We already know they're going to do it.
Yeah, we already know that. By the way, this is such a nefarious freeze frame.
He's delusional enough.
Look at this.
This is why it's so sick. He is actually the only one. He's like Trump, because he's the only one who's saying, yeah, it's going to pass the House. Yeah, he's the only one. Just like Trump.
Fucking guy's face right now. He literally looks like a demon. All right.
He is a demon.
Houses, that will be the George Floyd moment for some social unrest that is much needed in this country. We need to storm Washington, D.C. We need to scare the fuck out of people. If you read, it was... Nixon was afraid. What was it? Chris Hedges told the story on my show about.
And look at that! Like they're using the StreamYard thing. It's like Ben is like, I want to get my smile on the record here.
Yeah.
Ben's like, oh, this is great content. Let me get my smile on the record.
They are smiling about Nixon being afraid.
Okay, not only that. Not only that, but this will be the George Floyd moment. What?
George Floyd? Who the fuck are you to use George Floyd? You piece of shit.
I'm sorry. This is fucking ridiculous. Let's keep going. Let's get it out there, and then we'll respond.
If you read,
oh my god,
it was Nixon was.
Let's
afraid.
back up. Let's go back to the George Floyd moment. Let's watch their slimy faces laughing.
Look at this any freeze frame of Jimmy Dore is going to be beautiful. Look at that, unbelievable. I gotta take a screenshot of that one too. This is going to be the thumbnail for the video. Like one of these. It's going to be hard to pick. There's so many good ones. All right, let's go.
Underinsured. When they do that in the middle of a pandemic, as 19 million people are getting kicked out of their fucking houses, that will be the George Floyd moment for some social unrest that is much needed in this country. We need
just saying, 2K checks just passed. Nothing happened. Or didn't pass. Nothing happened.
Nothing.
Storm Washington.
No, you had You know what? Guess what? You had your George Floyd moment when George Floyd was killed.
Yeah, that was George Floyd's moment.
That was
it. That was murdered. And this guy is going to invoke his name for his dumbass conspiracy theory network.
Of course.
So ridiculous. All right, let's get into the Nixon thing.
We need to storm Washington, D.C. We need to scare the fuck out of people. If you read, it was.
I actually do agree with storming D.C. But if you're going to storm D.C. and shout at AOC,
do you want to scare the fuck out of people, or do you want to wake them up?
Yeah, if you want to go to D.C. and do a protest to force the whole government to resign, okay, right? But if you're going to go there just to scream at AOC, then what the fuck? What? All right.
Nixon was afraid. What was it? Chris Hedges told the story on my show about when they were coming for Nixon, they were protesting, and they had set up around the White House these school buses. And he says, what are ththose for? And he was with Kissinger. He goes, that's in case they break through the fences. Those will slow them down. And he said, he said to Kissinger, Henry, I'm afraid if they get through there, they'll come for us and kill us. That's where they should be. That's how afraid they should be of us. That's why, and guess what? Nixon gave us the EPA. He gave us OSHA. Right? He gave us the Clean Water Act.
So he is literally, I'm sorry, but he is literally saying to his followers, no different than Trump, he's literally saying we should go down there, scare the living shit out of them, and storm the building, and so that they will be that afraid that they think they're going to die.
And that's the thing, is like, again, I am an anarchist, right? And I want to be open with that. If we are going to do that to destroy the whole government, let me know the time and place. But if we're going to do that to yell at AOC, then what the fuck? Like, and again, this whole thing, if you track him, the whole thing is about AOC. It's not about Nancy Pelosi. It's not about Mitch McConnell. Certainly not about Donald Trump. It's not about Joe Biden.
It's only about the progressives. It's only about the progressives.
It's only about AOC.
They're the ones who did it.
So if you want to use these analogies of like, we're going to go in there and scare them to death, and then like Richard Nixon said that I'm afraid they're going to kill us and we should do that. If you're going to do that and your target is just AOC.
No, but you know what? Let's say that he is saying the whole entire Congress right now, okay? Let's say he's saying that. But if you match that with what he has been saying before, then don't tell me that you're not calling for violence. So don't sit here and say that it's okay to storm Congress, all of it, with physical violence and make them fear for their life, but that when you're speaking into webcam about AOC and you're saying you're going to come get her, that you're not speaking violence. You are speaking violence, period.
Yeah, and again, I'm an anarchist, right? So I want to say, if you're speaking violence, like my ears are open and I'm listening. But it depends on what the fucking violence is, because violence is a fucking very serious political tactic, right? It is it is the most deadly serious of political tactics. So if you're going to be threatening violence over AOC not acknowledging your show on Twitter, then what the fuck? What?
Well, what? How about this? Do you think it's time for us to be storming the Congress right now? Is it time for the violence? Do you think so?
We do not have the coalition capable of doing so and replacing the government with something that's actually functionable. If, and this is a huge if we stormed the fucking Congress and it was destroyed, guess who would replace it? Someone like Donald fucking Trump or Jimmy fucking Dore. It wouldn't be someone like me.
Well, that's why
it wouldn't
he's
be a
happy to
fucking
do
Medicare for All activist. It wouldn't be a fucking nurse who just had to go through this pandemic. No, it'd be a fucking narcissistic, fascistic despot. That's who would replace the government. Right, so again, you don't just storm Washington. That's not something you plan in 2 weeks, you dumb motherfucker.
I planned in 2 weeks.
You don't plan a storming of Washington in 2 fucking weeks, you asshole.
So the point is, you tell me this guy's not calling for violence, okay? He is. Period.
Literally. And again, like I said, I'm more amenable to violence than you are, certainly. And this is still dumb, because I understand how serious violence is. I've been the victim of violence. I know how this shit works. I know that when you, like, for example, when a cop shoots a journalist's eyeball out, that is violence.
Wait,
and if you're going to storm the White House, that's going to happen.
Do you really think that we could even storm the Congress with the weaponry that they have?
Exactly. All you're going to do is, like, again, and I had this tweet open here. I just drove to D.C. in the pouring rain during a pandemic, spending money on a room. Money, by the way, Jimmy Dore made $5,000 in super chats in one night by streaming people crying.
More than that,
streaming poor people crying. The guy made $5,000, right? So, and this person is spending money that they don't have, not on food for their family, but on Jimmy Dore's narcissist campaign. And if this force the vote rally actually happens, if this actually, like, if they do storm on Washington, which they won't, they'll pussy out of it, of course, right? But if they do, they're going to get hurt. And what Jimmy Dore is trying to do is he's trying to tell people that are innocent and poor to go get themselves hurt, because Jimmy's not going to storm the Congress. Jimmy's not going to go do that. He's going to sit in his $2 million mansion and going to tell people on YouTube what to do.
Let's just call it like Dore-a-Lago.
That's actually really good.
It's fucking really good. Dore-a-Lago, dude. Oh, there's a part about his house where he's. Look, there's much more, but I don't know how much you want to do, because that was the main.
What part? Give me the
thing.
Give me the time.
But I can tell you, like, look at 1437.
All right. 1435. All right.
Well, let's watch this video. Like we have it here.
They don't really watch it.
There's Anna. But here's my question. And people can go to, but
let me real quick. The way these people frame this interview with Anna Kasparian is how I frame the interview Jimmy Dore had with Tulsi Gabbard when she said she was against Medicare for All and Jimmy Dore didn't push back. It's the same fucking thing. It's the same fucking thing, right? It's the same fucking thing. Except honestly, Anna Kasparian pushed back a little bit more than Jimmy Dore did on Tulsi Gabbard. Now again, Tulsi Gabbard and what is this bitch's name? Madeleine Albright. They're not the same people. Obviously, one is significantly worse. Absolutely. But my point still stands, right? Like, if I had the opportunity to interview Madeleine motherfucking Albright, you damn right I would. You damn right I would, because why the fuck not? And if she asked for like a fucking smiling photo, that's part of the psyop that I need to do to get that interview, damn right I'll do it.
Exactly.
So I have no problem with Anna doing that.
Right? You just would have been harder on her.
Oh, no, I would have probably been harder than Anna, absolutely. But I have no problem with her making these little compromises to get that powerful fucking person in the room to ask them like tough questions. I have no problem with that.
They don't believe in compromising these people at all.
Right, so, unless it's Tulsi Gabbard, then I'll compromise everything, including my dignity. All right, let's watch.
So let me just set this up. He's gonna. The point of this is to show the fucking softball ass questions he's doing with this guy. Okay, so he's gonna say. So basically, like if we were the other way around, and these people came up with Anna had come up with M4A, the push the vote, whatever. Force the vote, would you have argued with her because it's Anna, or would you have gone with it? That's literally the question, and so he gets to have a free pass by saying, "Of course I would do it. It has nothing to do with the fact that it's me." Watch.
Here's my question to you, Jimmy. If someone who say has had supported imperialism or did a friendly interview to Madeleine Albright or whatever, or supported Russiagate for 4 years, if they had come up with this proposal for a floor vote for Medicare for All, do you think that you would be campaigning against it, or would you be supportive?
With a laugh?
Of course I would be supportive of it. I wouldn't be like, hey, this is good, but Anna was a meanie to me once. But what literally they're doing is protecting politicians.
One of the things that I hate about this is he downplays what he does. Like, oh yeah, I was mean to her one time ever.
Yeah.
You were mean to her only one time?
Yeah, he's just yelling in a webcam. He's just yelling in a webcam.
From independent media's criticism.
Get this here. He's about to say this line.
Politicians, and they're trying to use.
This is the thing, and again, he's saying, in this, I've gotten flack. You're defending AOC. Why are you I'm not defending AOC. Well, I guess I kind of am, right? Like, because she just tweeted this thing out. But before today's tweet chain, I was not really defending AOC. I was going against Jimmy Dore. Again, I've got disagreements with AOC, right? I trust her judgment in things like when it comes to, again, she just won. She won and got a pay-go exemption for things like Medicare for All. That's going to be amazing for the next 2 years, right? So when she wins, she wins. When she loses, she loses. I call it as it is. Jimmy Dore, on the other hand,
she's the youngest
when she wins,
member
she loses,
of Congress ever,
she loses.
and she just came in. So, like, what do you expect? She's not going to make mistakes? She's not going to try to figure shit out?
Yeah, exactly. Fucking Let's continue.
Politics to do it. They're trying to play the woman card, the race card, the whole everything. It's gross, and people see right through it.
Stop. Who says? You tell me who says things like?
Now, I want to say
people see right through it.
That's a Trump thing.
People see right through it. I heard many people don't even care about this stuff.
Many people.
I heard.
It's just a retweet.
People see right through it.
That's but again, it's an incredibly useful psychological tactic. And it can be used for good and it can be used for evil, right? And that's the thing. Like when Bernie Sanders says, people don't like our Republican president. That's true. People do not like our Republican president, right? But what the thing is appealing to like the random kind. Oh, it's people don't like. So if you've got like an innate inkling, okay, maybe AOC is evil, but I'm not sure yet. And then Jimmy says, well, people are calling her out on it.
Yeah, the vote's in. I'm going to go with the vote. People see right through it.
People.
So I'm going with that.
Many people. They're tremendous people. They're beautiful people.
Tremendous amounts of people.
The guy's nuts.
Unbelievable. No, now it gets really fucked up. Okay, here we go.
You want to keep going?
Yeah, here we go. He's gonna get. Oh, you're gonna like this.
Cornel West on my show last night.
Oh.
And I don't know if you saw that, but he told me to keep going. Don't stop doing what you're doing. If you got to shout, shout. If you got to crack some of your jokes, crack your jokes. Do whatever you got to do, my brother. Keep going because you're free. That's what he told me.
Stop. Did he not just imitate Cornel West and talk like a black man? He said, "You're free."
It was pretty bad. That's almost as cringeworthy, if not more cringeworthy, than him saying George Floyd
moment. I mean, unbelievable. I just
I don't know if you can hear the sound drop.
And then he's gonna get some. He's getting some backup from his buddy. Watch
liberal
this.
people, dumb people, liberal people.
Right, and he also invoked other free people like Richard Pryor and George Carlin, who were fearless in their comedy, and that's why they were so effective.
Stop right there.
So good.
So they're using Cornel West to compare this loser. I don't know if you've ever seen his comedy. It sucked through and through. It sucked.
It's not.
He sucked.
I am way funnier than Jimmy Dore. Just saying.
Absolutely, 100%.
Totally not an echo chamber, but I'll take it.
Oh my God, unbelievable! So now
again, I just want to tell you real quick. I have gotten so many, and again, I'm going to use this term, dumb motherfuckers. As George Carlin would say, there are some dumb motherfuckers, right? So I have gotten some real dumb motherfuckers in my Twitter mentions and in my YouTube comments and all social media, sending me emails and shit, right? Saying, if you would never like George Carlin. By the way, George Carlin, I love George Carlin. We have disagreements, obviously, but I love him. His style of delivery, honestly, in a lot of ways, George Carlin is a giant influence for me.
Shout out to my daughter Ariel, who's supposed to be listening right now, and she loves George Carlin more than anybody I know.
Gotta get him young. I remember watching when I was 14. I watched all of George Carlin's stand-up specials. I mean, and again, he's had a huge influence on my comedy, right? So when someone tells me I'm tone policing and that I would tone police George Carlin, you're a fucking idiot. You're a dumb, as George Carlin would say, a dumb motherfucker, right? Now again, George Carlin 100%. Has said some cringeworthy stuff, but I'm not going to go after him for the way he says it. I'm going to go after him for the actual content.
Because he's a genius and he's a comedian and he's funny and he's not trying to do something with the government.
Exactly. That's also another thing, is he's nihilistic, George Carlin. He's just calling balls and strikes. He's observant.
He didn't believe the government could do anything for you.
Jimmy Dore, and honestly, given the time period he grew up in, I don't blame him, right? But Jimmy Dore, on the other hand, is trying to storm Washington with 20 people, and he's not going to go, and they're only going to get hurt.
Deny that he's doing violence.
And then just say, I'm just talking to my webcam. Yeah, sure, people are spending money that they don't have to go to Washington to get in fights with cops.
The grift. The fucking this really is just Trump, really a bad Trump, like a bad version.
It's so blatant.
At least
it's
Trump
so
was
fucking
Trump.
blatant. And again, these motherfuckers will only ever talk about Trump on policy, and that's why they come out here with that bullshit. Trump's to the left of Nancy on the $2,000 checks, right? What? That's where they come up with that shit, because they only care about Trump's policies, and Trump's policies are important, absolutely. But if you don't understand the cult making,
this goes there. Oh, you got to see. This is a great. You got to keep going because this goes right deep into it. Keep going.
I think it's.
They're fucking doxing my house now. That's how pissed off people are. They
doxing my house.
Wait, it gets better.
They did a hit job right away. They did a Variety magazine published a house saying oh, look at Jimmy. Jimmy lives in a house. And now people are trying to say that's some kind of a luxurious house. If you look at I don't even want to get into it. It's ridiculous.
You don't want to get into it because they said it's a
compound. It's a corporate hit job, but they don't want Medicare for all to happen.
House. He stopped. He wouldn't talk about his house.
It's some people say it's a huge house, but it's a house.
Wait, I don't want to talk about it. That's literally, he couldn't talk about it.
I want to be very clear here, because I made a video on Jimmy Dore's house, and I got so many comments about that from people that didn't fucking listen to the fucking video. When I criticized Jimmy for having a very expensive house, One, he bought the house in the middle of a pandemic when people can't pay their rent. That's a little weird, right? He's comparing it to Bernie having 3 houses. Now, Bernie has 3 houses because he's a senator, right? So he has houses from multiple places, and he's also married, and his wife had a house that was in their family, right? So having 2 houses, one in Washington and one in Vermont, makes sense for a senator. Also, have you seen his houses? They're literally normal houses. Bernie's kids would stream like TikToks of Bernie like eating at the fucking dinner table and how adorable he is, right? Like, you can see the houses, they're normal. Then you look at the Jimmy Dore house, and it's a fucking roving compound, I think they called it, right? And it's huge, doesn't have a pool yet, so it's it's not perfect, right? And that's Jimmy's argument. Well, I don't even have a pool. Bernie Sanders has a pool. He's got a whole lake house. Yeah, he's got a lake house from fucking and again, I'm not trying to be rude on Bernie, but Bernie is old and he's white and he's married into that kind of generational wealth. So of course,
and he wrote a book that did very well. And
he wrote a book that did very well. But I'm saying of course, a fucking lake house that's in the family is going to be somewhat nice, right? Again, this guy, and he's comparing all of it's fucking ridiculous.
Clearly, it would have been a better look for the guy if he had a little hovel that he lived in, and then he could be the everyman hero, right?
Yeah, and I'm not saying, for example, if Jimmy Dore was an actual good person and he had a good house, I wouldn't care. But my point is, this guy monetized, made $5,000 at least off of monetizing poor people crying about their dead family members on his stream. He monetized that.
Yeah, he didn't say I'm gonna dedicate this, donate this to nurses or to people who have COVID or to people who really don't have help. No, he just took it. He could have done anything with that money. So you should keep going.
All right, I'll keep going. Let's try to wrap this up soon because I don't want to get through all of it.
I wouldn't be surprised if it came out of CAA. I wouldn't be surprised. That's why the people in independent media who have agents
you can go to 17.
Went along with the smears of people who were telling the
1711.
War game on Syria, as you know, we were right about. We were getting it right as she was repeating CIA talking points uncritically. That's what they do over there.
And just to repeat myself, because I don't want to make this about one person. What I think
I don't want to make this about one person. That's the first good thing you said.
It's all the handling, though. It's the carrying of water.
Right.
I don't want to make this about one person as I platform one person.
And I don't want to make this. He's saying I don't want to make this about AOC.
Jimmy Dore and David Sirota or something. Why didn't you do that? I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there.
Nomi was also doing the same thing.
Well, right. So Nomi.
How about Josh Fox? Josh Fox, the same thing. Yeah. Josh Fox is tweeting out that I'm some kind of a misogynist because he said I'm committing lateral violence on the movement because there's a video of me yelling into a camera about AOC. I'm committing lateral violence.
Josh because Fox it's about AOC. It's not about you yelling into a camera, you dumb motherfucker.
From WBAI because he's a sex harasser. He's banned from the studios at WBAI.
I also don't know who Josh Fox is.
Press pause.
Where my show, his
Josh,
show got.
Oh my god!
Josh Fox directed, made the movie Gasland and Gasland 2 about fracking. And he's been attacked by the oil industry for 10 years. And whatever happened with his girlfriend at WBAI is probably part of it or something that she did. Either way, this guy is about to say, listen, Jimmy, to be fair, just like I want people to be fair with me when they're accusing me of something, I'm going to say that that's an accusation. And then Jimmy says, well, no, it's not an accusation because he was really kicked out of there. And the guy totally gives up and he gives in and he says, oh, okay, well, if you say so, then yeah, I guess that's good enough for me. Watch.
Kicked off the air and they banned him because he's a fucking sex harasser creep. That's who Josh Fox is, who takes money from the Rockefellers and to fucking greenwash all the bullshit of the corporations. That he's a grifter and he comes out and so I just want to. So that's who these people are. And by the way, Josh Fox called you a Russian infiltrator. He said he was on a show and he goes, I don't want to say name names because I don't have any evidence, but I'll start with Katie Halper, Matt Taibbi, Aaron Mate, and he just started naming everybody. He goes, I don't have any evidence, but they're all Russian infiltrators. These people are pathetic, and they're being revealed by a fucking pothead comedian, and it is awesome.
Now, I want to talk about the great revealing, the great unmasking. That's a huge right-wing trope.
And this was all Trump, by the way. They look at how he was just
literally. You could draw it one-to-one. But like, so Trump's whole thing in the primaries was, look at all these people, they're corrupt. Look at them, they're all corrupt. And then everyone was like, oh, they're corrupt. The great unmasking. They've been unmasked as corrupt, like goons. Therefore, you gotta support Trump. He's not corrupt. That's all it is. So it's force the vote, force the vote, force the vote. And then if they don't force the vote, they're corrupt. And if they're corrupt, then I'm right because they didn't force the vote. And that means they're corrupt. And that means everything I said was right. Which gives me credibility in these people's minds. And then also, they'll only listen to me in the future because I've alienated myself from everyone else.
Except we just went through this, and so we know he's corrupt.
Yeah, literally. But there are people that don't. Like, I cannot,
not very many people. It's not that many people.
That's the problem. Is I know that the Jimmy Dumbo it's really not about the numbers. It's a percentage. Like Bernie got like 40%, right? If you can make it so that the next version of Bernie only gets 30%, that's going to be a lot easier to beat than 40%, right? The next version of Bernie is not going to win Iowa, New Hampshire.
That's why we're
Nevada.
doing this, because we're not going to let up, because we can't let it happen.
And these are all, again, rich fucking like platforms and podcasts. Like I don't know about fucking Gray Zone, but if they've got a fucking like label,
Max Blumenthal.
Yeah, if they've got like a label, if they've got a
son.
YouTube channel, like with all this bullshit that they seem to have, they look like rich motherfuckers, right?
How'd they do that production in 3 days on the 3 people who didn't agree with Jimmy? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Keep going. So let him say whatever you say, Jimmy. I agree.
Well, I want to be fair to Josh and not adopt the standard that he adopted against us in suggesting that we were Russian pawns or infiltrators, and say that, I mean, someone accused him of something, but that doesn't mean he's actually guilty of it. I just want to be fair to him and say that. But he was accused of bad behavior.
Oh, that's good. Wow, that's impressive.
It's a fact he's banned from That's a fact.
Okay. So and so
that's not speculation.
That's the thing, though. Like that's this whole thing is Jimmy's role is to be angry, and everyone around him's role is to enable, and then be like, yeah, Jimmy, maybe you're a little too much, but you're right on most of it.
Oh my God! Literally, he just stood up for Josh, saying those are allegations. Let's just, But as soon as Jimmy said no, he said, okay, fine. That's fucking, like, right here is where we need to show Gray Zone for what it is. Are you kidding me? You couldn't even say, well, but Jimmy,
oh my God, breaking news. I got breaking news. I'm sorry to interrupt your argument, but we have breaking news. I think we might have to, like, say that this Gray Zone thing, I think we've said most of what we need to say. Because Brianna Joy Gray is in Washington, D.C. and uploaded a video. This is breaking news.
One second. Okay. Breaking news, because you gotta just get in one more minute so that we can hear him say point, that the media. It's right here. It's just coming up.
Okay, I'm gonna press play.
That he's banned from his show got taken off the air and he's banned. That's a fact.
Okay, fair enough.
Fair enough. No problem. Okay, no problem.
Ben,
no pushback.
There was some people were saying in the comments that your volume was low. Do you want to try it again now?
Great.
Yeah, no,
I'm now being called a Fed. People are saying I'm a Fed now.
From people who...
real quick. Either, Jimmy Dore, you are a Fed and you're getting a nice paycheck and hats off to you, or you are so dumb, and this is the more likely one, you are so dumb that the Feds are using you because of your stupidity and you just don't even know. That's the more likely scenario. And that's what people are saying. They're not saying that you're a CIA op. Because, let's be honest, you're just a pothead comedian. What's more likely is that you're a dumb motherfucker.
Who whitewash the Democratic Party and always find an excuse to justify whatever Democratic Party leadership want. They now think that you're the Fed. It's incredible.
That was pretty sad.
That's suspicious. That's suspicious
and
right
by the way,
there.
Ben, I think, because you're not wearing your earphones, it's echoing.
Because you're retarded. You're an idiot.
Okay,
hey. Don't use the R word. Come on now. Push back. My guest is canceled. But for real though. I also like how this guy, by the way, this is a professional journalist, doesn't know about echo. Like forgot about half the audio. Whoops.
Listen, unbelievable, but it's right around the corner is one of the best lines in the whole program.
All right.
So
it's worth it.
That was crazy. I saw that. Ben Dixon said that.
Oh my God! They get the same.
I don't know.
And I just want to say, whenever I make a joke, you called me a Russian bot. How dare you? Whenever Jimmy makes a joke, it's just a joke. He's a pothead comedian. When Ben Dixon makes a joke, You threatened harm on my life. Oh my God! You called me CIA.
It's just like the Republicans. It's just like the Republicans. We're surrounded.
He called you
surrounded.
And I guess that makes us accessories because we, you know,
yeah,
you go on
that
the show,
does.
you come on our show.
Yes,
I'm a Russian.
You're right.
You're Russian, a Fed.
And I take money from Assad. I don't know if you saw that too.
Well,
so I'm anti-war, and I'm for Medicare for all. So if you don't know everybody, I'm going to let you in on a big secret.
Anti-war and pro-Medicare for all, but supported a pro-war, anti-Medicare for all candidate in the primary. Really makes you think. That gets the noggin jogging.
I'm in the pocket of big peace and socialized medicine.
Well,
you know that's where the money is.
You know what's funny about the Assad thing? So this is an allegation from
this guy.
Fast forward a little.
A bunch of us, me included. I won this award too.
Fast forward a little. We can do with this later, but a little bit.
You got
just
it.
a little
from the Gray Zone's got it. It's the imperialist left has gotten it.
Press pause. This is, by the way, this is what Naomi Key talks about all the time, which is this. She calls it the Assad money. It's from this organization, and it has very suspect ties, and the owner of it, the director of it, doesn't believe that the 9/11 was a terrorist attack. And they all got it. They all of that. He said, "I got it. You got it. Jimmy got it." These people all got $2,500 from this group.
That's
Amazing.
the thing is they just don't understand money, and that's what makes them such useful idiots. Is they just get a super chat for $500, $5,000 in super chats, and they think, "Wow, I did a good job."
Yeah, they're such narcissists. They
don't think, "Oh, why are people sending me money?" They think, "Wow, look at me, I did a great job."
All right, just another minute. I can't wait to see what Brianna's doing in Washington.
By the way, I just want to point out that used to be called the left, but now it's called the fringe.
Yeah.
Because the mainstream U.S.
By the way, these guys are pro-China. They're leftists, but not for Hong Kong. I'm a leftist, except for when it's China. That's what these guys are on. So,
has normalized support for war and sanctions and humanitarian intervention.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be fringe.
Yeah, no. But this is a part of the dynamic that's trying to smear Jimmy. It's the same thing where they're trying to make this a fringe position and trying to make someone who advocates these positions unacceptable, that they don't have the right to try to present a proposal to AOC and put something on the table because they happen to apply their principles of decency across borders that don't stop at the U.S., that actually go around the world. But anyway, so this theory that we've gotten money from the Assad government, it originates. Well, so it's this nonprofit in California who've been smeared as these agents of Assad. What's the irony here of that is that this theory originates.
We have the records. We have the records, and
on
they're just fucking trying to gaslight you. That we have the records.
And Bellingcat is literally a state.
We don't need Bellingcat
outlet.
for this.
this is this is what they do with Jimmy. Oh, it's Bellingcat that does this. Oh, it's Bellingcat.
Yeah,
well, that's what they
Bellingcat.
claim. Oh, well, everyone's making it about Jimmy when it's really about Medicare for all. They're doing the same thing. Now, again, I have not vetted this source. I don't know. I'm taking it on good faith that you are not lying to me, Jake.
I can show you. I can show you I just tweeted last night.
We'll look at it later, okay? And
okay,
so I'm throwing that in there that I have not
here.
personally validated this or verified this. However, they're doing the same thing here that they claim everyone else is doing about Jimmy Dore. They're doing the same thing. Right. Oh, it's Bellingcat. Therefore, it's wrong.
No, it's not.
Do you want to keep going?
Yeah, I just want to get to the Alex Jones. It's right here. Okay. It's right here.
So a state-funded outlet is falsely accusing us.
You can go 1.5 maybe.
Against us of receiving state money. When Bellingcat itself is it's funded by, and we're going to talk more about Bellingcat later. I can talk about it all day. But it's funded by groups including the National Endowment.
Yeah, I bet you could.
Which is basically a CIA cutout. It was founded essentially to continue regime change activities abroad through influence campaigns that the CIA itself doesn't want to do directly. It's also funded. I'm sorry to say.
Does he talk about Alex Jones or is it Jimmy?
Yeah, it's more than sad. It's
Jimmy.
I can't believe that fucking RussiaGate happened while I was at TIT and happened right in front of my faces as I was telling them that it's wrong and I was giving them the evidence and they had
all right, stop.
evidence.
So he's already talking about RussiaGate again.
RussiaGate is a huge red flag. Like, seriously, there are things that Russia did. They meddled.
No.
That's
RussiaGate's
factual.
illegal. You can't talk about it.
Right. Now, the debate should be about the extent of their meddling and how they did it, right? And how to fix it and all that.
The Mueller report clearly outlines many instances of what we would call collusion, but since they didn't use that word, they said that's not the word we're looking for. We're looking for conspiracy. Mm-hmm. So there was no conspiracy, but there was plenty of working together in some way.
Absolutely. It's undeniable, right? Now, Russiagate is one of these conspiracy theories that these people have been rallying around for a while. Is it cringy when liberals go out there and say Russia stole the election, everyone's a Russian bot, and they're not joking whatsoever? Yeah, that's cringy, right? Those are also dumb motherfuckers.
Cringy when you say nothing happened. That's
it's also cringy, by the way, when you say, oh, well, the neoliberals say this, therefore the opposite must be true. That's cringy.
So he's going off on Russiagate now. Now wait till you see where he goes next.
Everybody kept doing it. That's why there's no price to pay. There's no fucking price to pay ever for that. The whole media acted like worse than Alex Jones. And there's no price to pay. It's
the media, not him.
American journalism is the moral superior of no one. They are garbage. When a place like The Intercept's editors,
there we go.
Are doing red baiting on the regular with absolutely no evidence, and no one gives a fuck, and everybody doesn't quit.
Now, I just want to say I want to rope Glenn Greenwald into this because that's another person I used to respect.
He's about to talk about Glenn Greenwald.
Yeah, he's that's what he's saying is so now that Glenn Greenwald quit The Intercept, now The Intercept is a target. The only reason why they didn't go after The Intercept was because of Glenn, and Glenn left, so now The Intercept's fair game for these people.
Right, but Glenn Greenwald was the originator of the anti-Russiagate.
Yeah, no, for sure. And that's one of the things that I don't know. I don't want to. I think we've gone long enough on this.
We did it, but do you hear? So the last thing is that now it's the enemy of the people. Basically, he said it's garbage.
That's what this is. It's unsubscribe from everyone else except for me. And if I can, let's say Jimmy's ultimate fantasy, and I want to end it on this. Jimmy's ultimate fantasy is that everyone only subscribes to him. Now, if everyone who subscribes to him has 15 subscriptions and half of those are TYT, No McKee, me, maybe, right? And then he can limit those maybe down to 4 by rallying with the gray zone and useful idiots and Breonna Joy Gray. Jimmy's going to take people having 4 news outlets over 15, right? The ultimate goal, though, is 1. He wants himself to be the only news outlet. He is not promoting other people's work. He doesn't care about other people's work. He only promotes other people's work insofar as they promote him. That's what this is.
In the echo chamber. They've got their echo chamber, and they're all sharing the money.
And guess what it is? It's also capitalism. That's what this is. That's why you don't see Jimmy Dore talk about how capitalism's the root of all evil. He actually carries water for capitalism sometimes. Now, again, is it possible he's evolved since 2019 when he said capitalism wasn't the root of all evil? It's possible, right? But my point is, this is all capitalistic behavior. The idea of grouping with people that have similar interests, giving money to people that have super special interests that are similar with yours and aligned, that's all capitalist behavior. The idea that you're getting 5,000 super chats from unknown sources, right? And, you think it's because you're doing really good. That's the bootstrap meritocracy theory. And I say theory. What I mean to say is hypothesis. It's I'm doing so well, that's why I'm getting my money.
No,
it's not I'm doing certain things that are having these people give me money and they're going to give me the money so that I keep doing those things. No. It's because I'm picking myself up by my bootstraps. It's a meritocracy, and I'm successful. That's one of the things that they're saying. Jimmy Dore is successful. He's not successful. There is no meritocracy. Capitalism is a fucking failure, right? This guy is abusing capitalism. He is monetizing poor people's suffering to get himself a $2 million motherfucking house, and people are just letting him. And guess what? Breonna Joy Gray is letting him do it. That's why she's got a $35,000 a month podcast that, by the way, isn't that good, right? And that's why, that's why the gray zone has all this weird monetary connections, because it's all about these similar talking points. It's manufacturing consent theory, but for left media, right? That's what this is. It's capitalism and manufacturing consent, and they're too dumb because they don't fucking read, and they don't fucking talk to anyone, and they're dumb as fuck. And now guess what? I dropped out of high school. I don't fucking read that much either, but I know enough. I study my own behavior. I study the behavior of other people enough to know what the fuck people are talking about. Jimmy Dore is only in it for himself. He doesn't study his own behavior because he already thinks he's the greatest person on earth, and he doesn't care about anyone else's behavior. He doesn't study Trump's conspiracies. He doesn't study anyone else. He doesn't give a flying fuck because it's all about Jimmy motherfucking Dore. And I drink a lot of coffee, so I'm sorry for speaking too fast.
We went from Bernie Sanders. We lost we lost into a pandemic, and we come out the other side, and like a quarter of our people have just shifted over to this piece of shit.
Yeah, and again,
Because
even if it's 20%,
we're in trouble.
even if it's 15%, it's still significant because we don't have enough of a... Like, again, this motherfucker wants to storm Washington, and this guy is trying to cleave, like, fucking divisions in left media, and you're gonna try to fucking storm Washington? What?
Yeah, I don't care if we were completely unified. Couldn't storm
Even then,
Washington.
we don't have enough numbers. Like, even then. Like, if we had every single person that agrees with our policy positions to storm Washington, even then we would lose.